Hello all, EliteDSP here. So recently I've been having this problem where I want to push higher greater rifts, but I feel like I need to have double unity in order to do this. And I'm Paragon 355 already on my season's character, and I haven't even found a single unity yet. So about 70 or 80 Paragon ago, I decided, okay, I need to make a build that targets finding unity. This means rolling rings from Kadala and getting as many blood shards as I can possibly get so that I can get this ring as fast as possible. Now granted, this hasn't worked in 80 Paragon, but I'm still hopeful, still trying to do it. So the build I've come up with, I call it the Jade Flash build. And it centers around movement speed with your normal Jade build, getting as much movement speed as possible so that you can clear T6 rifts as fast as possible. Now, I've done tests with this build, and my recent one was an hour-long test to see what I'd come up with at the end of the run. I got 2.5 billion XP, 100 million gold, and 11 legendaries for just under an hour of gameplay. Now, these stats compete fairly well with some of the other methods of XP farming, while still giving you high legendaries per hour and very high gold per hour. Now, I'm going to go through my spec, I'm going to go through my gear, with the gems I use and the pieces, very specific pieces that I use. And then I'm going to show you some gameplay of how it works in regular rifts, including getting a Conduit shrine, which is awesome. Conduit pylon, sorry. Now we're going to go into the spec, which is very similar to just your average Jade spec. You have Haunt with Resentful Spirits, Pronado, Locust Swarm with Pestilence, Soul Harvest with Siphon, Spirit Walk with Jaunt. The only real difference on the spec is your Horrify with Stalker instead of Frightening Aspect. You get the extra 20% movement speed for 4 seconds after casting Horrify, which pairs up nicely with all the other movement speed items and abilities we use. Spirit Walk also gives you extra movement speed when you use it. And you have to use Spirit Vessel, Grave Injustice, and Creeping Death, which is completely normal for any Jade spec. But you use Gruesome Feast instead of some people use Pierce the Veil. But a lot of Jades are now, high-level Jades are going Gruesome Feast for the extra damage, the extra resistance that you get from it. But for this build, you're going to be killing things so fast, so that extra 50% intelligence is going to be up a good 90% of the time. You're just getting so many kills, so many health globes drop, that you will just about always have that up. So now we're going to talk about the gear. Now I'm going to quickly go over the Jade pieces, and then talk about the offset pieces a little more in depth. So for shoulders, you're going to want your normal Jade shoulders. Make sure you got cooldown reduction on that. If you could, do Haunt damage instead of the resist all, but I haven't found perfect shoulders yet, so this is what I have. The cooldown reduction, you're going to want that over Haunt damage. On your chest, Haunt damage on chest, normal stats. Gloves, crit chance, crit damage, and CDR if you can get it. Pants, just armor or all resist, along with your normal stats. For boots, you can either go 12% movement speed or both armor and all resist, and just get the make up movement speed in your Paragon. Doesn't really matter. And then Quetzalcoatl, you're going to want crit chance, vitality, and a socket. Socket is the biggest part for the cooldown reduction. Then crit chance, then vitality. So if you can get all those stats, that's great. If not, socket, crit chance, vitality. Alright, so now for the other pieces. You're going to want a one-hand or an offhand, so that you can use the Thing of the Deep. What the Thing of the Deep gives you is the 20% extra gold, health, and pickup radius. And that's going to give you more resets for things dying a little farther away from you. It's also going to pick up all gold and every gold piece that drops. Well, not every gold piece, but most gold pieces that drop, and then all the globes that drop around you. It'll just pick it up instantly, and you really won't have to worry about that. It won't slow you down trying to run around picking shit up. run Sunkeeper with that, because it's just one of the strongest weapons you can get. As you see, I have a decent Sunkeeper, but I haven't been able to gift it because I had to reroll the damage. If you can gift it for 10% extra damage, that would be a little extra buff there. You want high elite damage on this, you want to sock it. 10% damage if you can gift it, and high damage range. As well, on the Thing of the Deep, you want to make sure that you get that 8% cooldown reduction, because you're really going to want a lot of cooldown reduction, as much as you can, so that you can use Soul Harvester, you can use Spirit Walk, and your Horrify as much as possible for movement. Soul Harvest for damage. The faster you can use your abilities, the faster you can kill things, the faster you can move on to the next pack. So next, I'm going to talk about the gems. Boon to the Hoarder. This is absolutely mandatory for it. You got to get it up to level 25. It gives you that 30% extra movement speed. It makes explosions of gold whenever you kill an enemy. So enemies are going to die. You're going to get a ton of gold. Thing of the Deep will then pick all that gold up for you, or most of it at least. And you really don't have to worry about running around picking it up, because even just with your passive gold pickup radius, I end up getting over 10 million gold per regular rift. It's kind of ridiculous how much you get. So, Boon of the Hoarder is an absolute necessary gem to get for the movement speed. Then, for your next gems, you can use Bane of the Trapped and Bane of the Powerful. Those would be your two strongest gems. Probably end up using Bane of the Powerful first for the extra elite damage, because most of your stuff, since we're only doing T6, will pretty easily kill any normal mobs. Elites are going to be your hardest time. And then Bane of the Trapped after that, if you can get that up to relatively high levels, it's a good damage increase. You are better off using three sockets for this build, because you need to have the Boon of the Hoarder, and then the Bane of the Trapped and Bane of the Powerful each become like about 20% or higher damage bonus, which is going to be better than anything else you can have in place of that. On my neck, I like to get rid of either cold damage or intellect. This one had no cold damage with socket, so it worked out for me. And then to go with the Boon of the Hoarder gem, I like to run Gold Wrap, because I'm looking for Unity. I haven't found it yet. And my toughness is kind of low. I'm only at 6 million toughness. So the extra armor that you gain, basically whenever you kill something, you become invincible, because you're going to have 100 million toughness, 200 million toughness, billions of toughness as it starts stacking up. Alright, and then Warzestian Arm Guards. This is a big one too. The secondary on it, every time you destroy a wreckable object, you gain a short burst of speed, is insanely nice. It's about 50%, maybe a little more than that, for about 5 seconds of speed every time you destroy a wreckable object. And the way that this procs is usually your haunt after you kill a target. It'll try to jump to another enemy if no other enemies nearby, i.e. when you've killed all the packs. When you've killed a pack and you're ready to move on, it'll jump to a breakable target, and it'll break that target free without you having to do anything, giving you the extra speed to get to the next pack. Alright, and so that's about it for your items. You're going to want to have Nemesis Bracers to switch. Doesn't matter what the stats are, you just switch it real quick, spawn the enemy champion from your shrines. Gives you a little bonus to magic find, because elites have a higher chance of dropping legendaries. And as for other options, instead of the gold wrap, you could use a vigilante belt for the extra cooldown reduction. Instead of Warzestian, if you can't find those because they are kind of rare, I was using Custarian before that, so that you get a little bit of extra gold, or a little bit of extra experience whenever you pick up the gold. It turned out to be pretty low, about 4% extra experience overall, going off the 2.5 billion XP per hour and 100 million gold per hour stats that I found with that 1 hour test. But it is a little something extra if you can't get those Warzesh in. So for Paragon, you're gonna want to cap out your movement speed to 25%. For me, that's 13% here, and then the rest in intelligence, extra damage. Offense, you're gonna want cooldown reduction first. Then, depending on your stats, either crit damage or crit chance. Max one and then max at the next. Attack speed's pretty worthless for Jade, so don't worry about that. In defense, I like to go resist all. It makes me take less damage. Life will give you more toughness. Percent life will give you more toughness, but it's at the risk of having to refill that health bar. But you can go percent life first if you want that, then resist all. I'm running around 400,000 life right now, and it seems to work pretty well. And then get armor after that. I'm assuming you're not running this too much past 600, so life regen would be the last one, if you are. In utility, you want to get area damage first. Whenever you group things up in Soul Harvest, you get that chance to do an extra 50% damage, 20% chance to do 50% extra damage to all enemies around it, and so that really makes for large explosions. It helps when killing yellow packs with extra health, stuff like that. Then go resource cost reduction, just makes things easier. If you don't have to worry about your resource, the Jade build goes faster. You can get life on hit or gold find after that, it really doesn't matter. Yeah, so that's it for Paragon. So now I'm going to show you some gameplay for the Jade Flash build. Now, it goes pretty fast. The entire run for a T6 Rift only took just a little over 5 minutes. I did include a Conduit in this run, just to show you how ridiculous Conduit is. Put a link in the description to show the time that Conduit starts if you want to just jump ahead to that. I'm also going to put in a link to one of my faster clear times without Conduit. It was about 4 minutes and 18 seconds. This was just while I was testing. I'm sure I've done faster clears, but this was the fastest that I had recorded. I'm also going to put a link in there for the hour-long test if anybody cares to see what that was, a little extra gameplay, all that. But so as you see, I'm kind of going for pack to pack. In between packs, I'll use Spirit Walk and Haunt to move myself a little faster if I need. A lot of times you'll see the Haunts jumping either to the next pack or to a breakable, giving me extra movement speed. And then the extra movement speed from Boon of the Hoarder is also really nice. For this one, it was a pretty decent rift, decent to average. It took 3 levels, and there was packs within about a screen of each other, maybe a little more in some cases. Yeah, so I just keep on running through. The main thing to know is when to use your cooldowns for movement speed when you need them for like defenses. So you try to keep Pronado off cooldown. You use that every time you get to a pack, and that's kind of your major defensive ability. You also have Horrify if you need it, and Spirit Walk if you need it. But if you start getting really good with your Pronado, most of the time, depending on what kind of mobs you get, you won't need to use Horrify or Spirit Walk, and so you can just use that straight for movement speed. And that'll give you a lot faster clear times. As you see, it takes usually about 1 to 2 soul harvests per pack. Some are more. Things like Illusionists, like right here, when they split, they drop the dots on them. So you gotta re-dot them up, and if you don't get them all, they'll end up taking an extra soul harvest. But yeah, everything's relatively fast to the build. One of the nice things about having a Sunkeeper, a faster weapon than say like Furnace, is you don't really need the extra damage that Furnace gives you. It's just T6. The rest of my gear has some build potential to get a little stronger. So there's definite room for improvement for other people. But so for the Sunkeeper, you get extra attack speed, so you get all your dots off a lot quicker. So that means less time getting the dots up in order to soul harvest, less time you spend in each pack. So the video is going to end with the Conduit buff. So I wanted to thank you guys now for watching the video. I'd also like to ask if you had any ideas to make this build a little better. Go ahead and leave me a comment in the comment section. Any suggestions that you guys might have for other guides that I can do for you, that would also be great, putting that in the comments. And if you guys like the video, go ahead and thumbs it up, subscribe to the channel, and you can follow me on Twitch. A lot of times I'll be either doing this build or just a straight Jade build. Sometimes I'll be playing Pet Spec. But I like to stream if people want to come watch. Get a little more gameplay in. So we finally made it to the Conduit buff, and as you guys can see, it is completely ridiculous how fast I end up moving. You keep killing things, so you get gold, which gives you the movement speed from Boon of the Hoarder. Then you keep breaking things, which gives you movement speed from Orzessian bonds. Add to that being able to spam Horrify and Spirit Walk because you're getting resets. You just move really fast. I got about 25% of that rift done in all of 20 seconds. So now all that was left was to kill the Rift Guardian, which has the same limitations as normal Jade. You have decent cooldown reduction, so you at least soul harvest quite a bit, but yeah, it's no different than Jade. You just run in, soul harvest, run out. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it helps you out, and I hope you guys find the items you're looking for. Alright, this is Elite DSP, and I'll see you next time.